Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Rune. I am a sexual alter and I lived in the catacombs. I was in kind of a, not really an abusive situation. It was definitely a traumatic situation, I think. Um, and I guess I just wanted to speak to you guys today because there's a lot of misconceptions about sexual alters, and we've done a video in the past. Stella has done a video. She covered a lot of it, but there was a blue line through her face. Um, I can still link that video down in the description, but I figured we could use an updated video about everything surrounding sexual alters. So, I asked on Instagram, um, uh, what questions you guys had for sexual alters about sexual alters. Okay, um, so you guys had quite a few questions. Um, we cut it off at like, I think 10 hours or something, because we had enough to make a video with. So if you submitted a question and it did not get answered in this video, I do apologize. We just kind of had to move on a little bit. So the first question is it hard being a sexual alter? And there's a couple other questions kind of similar to this. I'm not sure exactly what you mean by being hard, like it being hard being a sexual alter. Um, if you're talking about the stigma around it, or if you're talking about just in general. For me, it's not super hard because I don't front too often. It is hard to control sexual urges from time to time. Um, but honestly, I feel like something that you cover with any type of alter, be it an angry alter, a persecutor, um, a happy-go-lucky alter. You know, anger alters have trouble controlling their emotions and anger outbursts. Persecutors have trouble controlling their persecutor tendencies, and happy alters can sometimes go overboard on maybe like buying stuff too often. You know, this makes my heart happy, and so self-care. And that's, I mean, none of that is bad, but it's just kind of relating back to the fact that no matter what type of alter you are, you do have to learn how to control um, the aspect of that part of yourself. Um, what is the main purpose for a sexual alter, and can they also hold trauma? So the main part of a sexual alter would be sexual tendencies. Now, a sexual alter doesn't necessarily have to be sexual. They could be asexual, they could be avoidant, they can be hypersexual. Um, it just kind of depends on why they developed for your system in particular. For us, I'm a hypersexual alter because in the past we had been denied uh, our sexuality, and it had been looked down on and kind of concealed in a way, I guess. Our parents didn't approve of anything sexual. talking about sex was bad. Yeah, so I don't know. I guess some people turn hypersexual and some people go completely the opposite way, hyposexual, also asexual. And there's no right or wrong way for that to happen, but it happens nonetheless. Um, so I guess the purpose would be to hold whatever. We have a couple different sexual alters, but it holds a key. I'm trying to find a way to explain this properly. Um, it's a key part of the personality, and some have uh, been banished from sexual stuff, and so they'll gain a sexual alter to show that side of them. And some people were overly sexualized when they were younger, so they'll gain a sexual alter because they're ashamed of their sexuality, if that makes any sense. There's plenty of other reasons. Please feel free to leave those down in the comment section. You know, if you're a sexual alter and you know your purpose and why you're here, let us know. We love to hear different perspectives. This is just our perspective from what we've been living with. Can they also hold trauma? Was the second part of that question, and the answer is yes. There's more questions about trauma, so I'm going to get to that in a moment. Can you have a sexual alter without being aware of your sexual trauma? Yes, you can, but you can also have a sexual alter without sexual trauma. Again, this goes back to being denied your sexuality. That's not sexual trauma, that's sexual withholding. You know, withholding part of yourself, part of your personality, because it's not approved of in whatever situation you're in. For us, it was our parents basically saying, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad, not showing us a healthy way to explore our sexuality and be safe at the same time. How did you know you were a sexual alter? For me, I've just always enjoyed sex. I know that's a taboo subject, but here I am. I am taboo. Um, so for me, that you know, that's just part of who I am, and so it's the main part of what makes me me. And I accept that about myself, and I fully acknowledge that I'm a sexual alter. Some alters don't realize that they're sexual, and they become sexual later on in their development. Um, so it depends on the alter. For me, it was um, just being that way from the get-go, from when I was introduced into the system. Do you ever feel disgusted with yourself? Yes, absolutely. There is a lot of negativity surrounding sexual alters. There's a lot of trouble that they can get into. They're looked down upon within the system. They're looked down upon within society. And we're just supposed to be this bad guy that I guess is a sexual boogeyman, essentially. And for me, I sometimes do look down upon myself. They're making a phone chirping sound. They're copying my ringtone. My God. But yes, it is normal to feel disgusted by yourself for being overly sexual and feeling like you shouldn't be that way. And I'm here to tell you it's okay to be who you are. It's okay to be who you are. You don't have to be ashamed of it. You might get those feelings, but they will pass. You know, be proud of who you are, and if you are having struggles, meaning maybe you're overly sexual, and you're having issues with putting the system maybe in compromising situations, learning when it's time to get help for that. Any advice for underage sexual alters? But if you're talking about an alter that is underage, but the body is not a minor, I would say trying to talk to them and see where those feelings are coming from. Try to be understanding with them. Find ways for them to have an outlet without it becoming dangerous. There's plenty of example. I mean, we don't have any ourselves, but we do know systems that do have underage sexual alters that are struggling to understand who they are and why they are the way they are. Oftentimes, if your alter is underage and they are sexual, I'm not saying this is all the time, but most of the time, it's because there is a trauma that has happened before you turned 18. So some part of you is hurting, and that means that alter is hurting, and you should try to help them any way you can, and find that safe space for them to be who they are in a safe way. Now, if you're a system that's underage, please do seek help. There's counselors, there's text lines. Even if you're kind of like with our trauma processing and recovery video, you don't have to come out as a system to get help for these particular issues. And don't feel ashamed to bring them up either, because your therapist or counselor has heard it all, I promise, and you will not surprise them. So don't be scared to bring it up in therapy or counseling. You know, just let them know what's going on, because otherwise they're not going to be able to help you. How do you distract from sexual intrusive thoughts if you have them? So I'm assuming that this question is coming from somebody who's had a sexual alter sitting co-con with them and have given them those thoughts, or a sexual alter is trying to be in a serious situation and is having those intrusive thoughts. For us, what we do is once we realize those are happening, we try to ground ourselves. It's not necessarily a distraction, but it is something to help the mind focus on calming down, releasing negative energy, tense emotions, which all of those thoughts can come from. We start from our head and relax all the muscles. So if you start from your head, you relax your forehead, you relax your jaw, you relax your shoulders, and you continue that down all the way to your feet. And then you feel, if you're sitting, you feel the chair underneath yourself. And if your feet are on the floor, you feel the floor underneath your feet. And this helps us to just kind of focus on something else and try to regroup, so those thoughts don't have like a solid grip. We definitely practice grounding a lot for a lot of our issues. That's one of our best coping mechanisms, is trying to get ourselves grounded so we can deal with whatever it is, and have conversations with those alters that are causing issues. Common misconceptions about sexual alters. Della's video was all about misconceptions on sexual alters, so I guess I'll just go over a couple that I've noticed. Sexual alters are bad and will get you into trouble. Now, while this can be true, it is not always true, and oftentimes a sexual alter has gone through something to make them the way that they are. And so it's important for you to try and figure out And this comes with therapy and communication and, you know, all the working processes that you got to go through to get to your altars. And I know it's kind of hard to get to that point, but once you are there, having discussions with your altars about why they're doing the things that they are and if they're okay, if you can help them in any way be more comfortable with themselves so they don't have to have outbursts such as those thoughts. Or, you know, going off um, and doing whatever. Another misconception is sexual alters will make your system cheat on your partner. Again, anything that is said about anybody can be true, but it is not always the case. And you got to keep in mind that they're there for a reason. If you're ashamed of your sexuality, that altar is going to be that one to try and show you that it's okay. If you've been hurt, that altar, maybe it's a sexual altar that's scared of doing anything sexual at all. That altar would be, you know, trying to help you, but maybe in a unhealthy way. So you kind of have to find a balance with that. But that is, you know, my understanding. Let's see. What's another misconception? I can't think of any more right this second. But I promise, if you do have a sexual altar and you recognize those types of behaviors in them, there is help for you. It's not going to be the end of the world for you, I promise. You gotta. We all have to heal, and part of healing is trying to figure out why altars act the way that they do, and them taking accountability for it and trying to do better, trying to heal, doing some work, some therapy, self-help, journaling, whatever it is that they need to feel more comfortable with themselves and be able to express themselves in a safe environment. As a sexual altar, do you ever get irritated that it's all that you're linked to? No, because it's not all that I'm linked to. I have worked on myself quite a bit just in the last couple of weeks because I did see myself as disgusting. I did see myself as just this awful thing that couldn't be helped. But recently, I have started to look and see what has been going on. So I didn't like who I was, and I thought that that was all of what I was. But that's not true. I am a kind person. I enjoy cooking. I enjoy jazz. There are more things to me than just being a sexual altar. While that is my nature, that's not the only thing that I'm known for. And that's not the only thing I want to be known for. And that goes along with the next question. Do you strongly identify with the title, or is it just a detail of who you are? I both strongly identify with it, but I also know that it's part of me. You know, it's not the only thing. I'm not just obsessed. You know, I'm a person. I'm somebody that deserves love and care and understanding and help if I need it, you know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that, but you deserve love and care and help if you need it as well. How do you feel about the bad reputation sexual alters have? It pisses me off. It pisses me off. And it's because, like, when people hear sexual alter, they think, oh, that person's going to cheat on their partner because they have another part that is overly sexual. Oh, that person is never going to like have any other hobbies because they're overly sexual. Um, and it ticks me off that that's all we're seen as, when most of the time we're hurt individuals that have undergone trauma. You don't have to have trauma to be a sexual alter, but a lot of the time you will have trauma when you are a sexual alter. And it makes me mad because a lot of the sexual alters that we have spoken with, there's been none recently, but in the past, a lot of them have been hurt in some way. And it doesn't seem okay to me to just ream on them because of who they are. They want help. They're hurting. They want to do better. They find themselves disgusting. Like, there's all these things that go into it. Um, and I just feel like we should be better understood. Do all sexual alters hold trauma? No. Some sexual alters are there because the host is uncomfortable with their sexuality and need a little help to be more comfortable within themselves. I call it healthy sexuality, um, and having healthy sexual alters is something that is also overlooked. An alter that can show you how to have a healthy sexual relationship rather than an abusive one or none at all. Do sexual alters only hold sexual trauma? What I'm thinking you're meaning is, if a sexual alter does hold trauma, can it only be sexual? And the answer is no. I explained this a little bit earlier as well, and I feel like I'm repeating myself, but I feel like it's important. You can have minor things happen to you, like a parent covering your eyes during a film and you thinking, oh, sex is bad, I can't see that. And boom, there comes the need for a sexual alter later on in your life. Advice to keep the body safe. I would recommend talking with your sexual alters, trying to figure out what's going on with them, why they're acting the way they are, and figuring out what they need. Because it's something that, just like with a angry alter, you gotta give them an outlet somewhere, whether it's writing in a journal, tearing up paper, smashing plates. For sexual alters, it could be writing erotica. I know that helped Della with her issues, and it helped her just relax and realize that, these are just thoughts inside your head, and sometimes it's better just to put them on paper rather than act them out. So trying to figure out what works with your sexual alter rather than them just going out and putting yourself in compromising situations, um, working on issues with them before they front, so that way they know how to cope healthily. Is a sexual alter's role difficult or harder than others? I say it's a mixture of both. Um, like, it can be easier and it can be harder. It can be easier because if you're with somebody that knows you and you're comfortable with, you can be yourself. You can work on yourself. But if you're with somebody that doesn't really understand sexual nature or any of that sort, it can be really difficult to try and make a connection and explain who you are and what you do, and gain that trust to have open communication. So it's a double-edged sword, I think. Um, like I said, I did cut this off, so I didn't get to your question. I do apologize. But that is all that I have. If you have other questions, or if you'd like to answer any of those questions that were given to us, please feel free to comment down below. I know this is a sensitive topic, and I'm thank you for watching. Um, if you got this far, you are loved, you are accepted, you're not disgusting, and it's okay to be who you are, even if you don't always feel that way. And that goes for anybody. Anybody, it doesn't have to be a sexual alter, it can be anybody out there. All right, lots of love, guys. Thank you. We do have a new P.O. box down in the description below and on our Patreon. Thank you so much, and have a great rest of your day, or night, or afternoon, or morning. Bye, guys.